Ford Super Duty trucks have been the #1 best-selling vehicle for many years, and the reason for that is there is a huge selection from the F-250, which we're going to be reviewing today, and we're going to take it towing as well, all the way to the F-350 Crew Cab Dually Diesel, which I personally own, 450s, 550s, and 650s, all depending on what your needs are. If you need towing, Ford's got that. But so does the competition. We'll talk about that along the way. Remember that you can get different engine choices, different cabs, different bed lengths. It all depends on what you need. But in my opinion, when it comes to trucks, bigger is always better. There have been some changes for 2026 for the Ford F-Series Super Duty, including that 148-inch cab and a short bed. Depends what you need. Do you want more space for people or more space for bed length? Lots of combinations and tons of options. When you start layering them up, just like all the competition, it gets kind of pricey. There are a lot of trim levels that are available. The diesel Tremor, you can get a limited, you can get a platinum, you can get an FX4 package, which we have on our test vehicle. What's now available is the STX appearance package, available on the F-350 dualies with body-colored bumpers and a painted grille, badging, and minor interior updates, but we'll do that on a separate review. Our test vehicle is a Lariat trim package, which is an additional $2,250. The Lariat Premium Package includes a crew cab four-wheel drive model with a 7.3-liter gas engine that you could opt up for, or you can go with the diesel engine or the base engine, and we'll go over that in just a second. This bundles in Co-Pilot 360, driver assist technology, running boards, which I think is required to get up into this vehicle, power slided tinted glass with defrost feature, Pro Trailer Hitch Assist, and we will be towing with this in just a second, and Pro Trailer Backup Assist, as well as Trailer Reserve Guidance. All of this makes it easy to hook it up. LED headlights as well as driving lights are standard on this vehicle, and this gigantic Ford logo, because all the brands are trying to see who's got the biggest logo, actually hides all the safety features which come standard in this vehicle. You can purchase up for more things, but one of the things you cannot get is Blue Cruise. Some of the additional safety features are a 360-degree camera, blind spot with cross traffic alert, electrochromatic mirrors, rear parking sensors, and reverse brake assist. Under the hood of our test vehicle is a 7.3-liter V8 gas engine, which is an additional $1,500. It has 430 horsepower and 485 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 time of approximately 7.8 seconds. There is an optional engine, which is my favorite choice, the diesel engine with 500 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque. Remember, the base engine is a 405 horsepower, 6.8-liter V8, so there are options, so you can pick what works best for your towing and your needs. Our test vehicle is backed by a 10-speed automatic transmission. It also has a 430 electronic locking rear axle, which is an additional $430. Dual battery, an additional $210. The towing capacity for our gas engine is 18,200 pounds, and if you decide to go with the diesel, it goes all the way up to 22,000 pounds. There's a front air dam as well as tow hooks on the front of this vehicle because this is a real work truck. Our test vehicle is a crew cab long bed, but it does have some options, and quite a few of them. 275/75 R18 all-season terrain tires at $265, the FX4 Off-Road package with skid plates for an additional $600, and vehicle integration system for $400. There are quite a few additional options, including those roof lights for an additional $150, wheel well liners both front and rear for $325, makes the vehicle look a little bit cleaner, keeps the mud out from underneath the suspension, and splash guards for the front and the rear for $325. One of my favorite features that you can get, and I think should be standard across the lineup, is keyless keypad. That's an additional $455, and they are now charging extra for that. That should be standard the way it used to be. There is a full glass panoramic roof across the top for an additional $1,495. One of the really nice options that I think is mandatory, especially if you're towing, is the onboard scales and smart hitch. It's an additional $650, but what it gets you is when you hook up the trailer, it'll show you in the center screen how much is on the tongue. Whether you got a fifth wheel or a gooseneck, whatever you're using, it'll give you that weight, which will help you be safer on the road. Of course, there is trailer brakes and everything else that comes with that trailer towing package. We also have the platinum running boards. Again, I think this is standard. I'm not that tall, I'm 5'8", but getting in this truck without it is a little bit challenging, especially during the winter months. Our test vehicle included the power sliding center window, which I think is really helpful when you have long items. You need to maybe put most of it inside or whatever you might need. The FX4 Off-Road package gives this vehicle a lot of additional capability, especially if you're going to a construction site, your landscape, or whatever it might be. This vehicle has everything that you want. Some of the nice features that have been added to our test vehicle is a hard tonneau cover for $1,280. You can get an onboard generator called Pro Power on board for $985. We also have a fifth wheel hitch that is already put into the bed, the prep for that, $750. The tailgate step is $375, and there's additional retractable tailgates both on the side and here on the corner. So if you need to get up into the bed, no matter where you're on the side or the back, the one on the side is $780. Again, good features to have when you need to get up into the bed of the truck. Coming to the back of the truck, you've got LED taillights embossed Super Duty on the back, just like you have in the front. Power tailgate, which is really nice to have. Of course, you've got that built-in step, which Ford has had for a long time. And in addition, you've got the tough bed liner, which is great so you don't damage your truck. The cost of the bed liner is $625. There are tons of tow hooks, there's lights, there's connections, everything you need to make a real truck do real jobs. The warranty on this vehicle is 3 years, 36,000 miles bumper to bumper, 5 years, 60,000 miles on the powertrain, and roadside assistance is included for 5 years or 60,000 miles. If you go for that optional diesel engine, my personal favorite, 5 years or 100,000 miles. Diesels love to run, and if you take good care of them, they'll last easily 1,000,000 miles. Let's take this vehicle for a test drive, and we're gonna hook it up to a trailer and see how it tows. Inside the F-250 Super Duty, you are not giving up anything. Typically when you go to a Super Duty truck or to a full-size big real work truck, you lose a lot. Well, that's all changed from all the brands, both General Motors and from Ram. They have made these vehicles super luxurious. You can load them up to be really expensive. What you're going to notice right away is that 12-inch gauge cluster that is completely customizable. And when you go into the tow modes, you change the different drive modes, which is in this dial here. Just below the trailer brakes, you've got normal, slippery, and there's little graphics to go with it because it's nice that way. And off-road, heading the other direction, you've got tow haul, which we're going to do in just a second, your eco mode, and that is all of the different drive modes. Lots of driving range on this car too. We have a full tank and it's 400 miles of driving range, which I think is more than enough, especially if this is a real work truck. Manual tilt telescopic wheel, heated steering wheel that is leather wrapped. The seats are heated and vented, which is an additional option. Some of the nice features we have in this vehicle are the Bang & Olufsen audio system, which I think is nice. Nothing like having good tunes when you're driving a good truck. However, one of the options is Sirius XM. You get 3 years included, and that came in at $300. All-weather floor mats were optioned on our test vehicle, and that came in at $180. Really nice to have, especially if you're working in a lot of mud. There are upfitter switches that are up here on the upper console. That's $250, and really nice if you've got a plow or you're using this vehicle for other things. You can make those switches customizable to whatever you want. Trailer brakes are standard on a Super Duty truck because most of these trucks are work trucks, and that is just above your drive modes where you can change your different 2- and 4-wheel drive. 12-inch center screen here has a Sync 4 system in it, which is the most current updated version. You've got your audio, your phone, your navigation, which is included. They're not charging you extra for navigation. I see that a lot in car brands. Let's hope they don't do that with truck brands. But one of the nice things besides your favorites is apps. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is standard. They've also put in this Stingray karaoke, which I find kind of amusing. You don't want to hear me sing, trust me. But it also has YouTube, so if the vehicle is stopped and you're waiting for someone or you're working on something and you want to listen to YouTube, you can put that in as well. There are tons of mobile apps through the Ford Connect system. The gas engine offers more than you would need for daily driving and towing capability, but if you're doing a lot of towing, you're hauling a lot of heavy vehicles, I highly recommend going with diesel. It is the smartest option. The base engine works fine too. It all depends on what you're doing and what you're using it for. This car is really easy to drive. Good performance with this gas engine. Doesn't have the torque of diesel. I'm a huge diesel fan. But like I said, this is really nicely balanced. Been a lot of changes for Ford over the years. They've put a lot of niceties in these vehicles, especially things like high-end audio systems is really nice. You've got hill descent, a lot of features that you wouldn't think would be in an F-250 truck. Well, now you've got it. Tons of charge ports, 12-volt charging, you've got USB-C, and they've really done everything that you would want in a truck. All your climate controls are here with large knobs, because whether you're wearing gloves, and you don't have little hands like I do, but you want to adjust all these features, you can do it very easily. Below that, you have a center console. In that, you have wireless charging, USB-C and USB-A charge ports. Tons of places for pencils, wallets, your phone, whatever you need. 2 cup holders, which are completely adjustable. You can slide it from side to side. Tons of places to put things depending upon what you're doing. You got 2 cup holders, now you got 4 cup holders. Just slide this center console over. Storage on the side of the center console as well, which is very helpful. Inside this gigantic glove box, you can get an optional safe if you want to put something in there that you want to keep protected. Inside, super deep well with hangers for files. You can put a laptop in here, tons and tons of storage, literally everywhere. Behind that, 2 additional cup holders for the second row, and that second row does fold up, so you have storage underneath that is lockable. The seats can fold flat if you need to as well. One of the things I really like about Ford trucks is the sill that dips down. Now you may think, why is that important? Well, if you're backing up or you're driving over things and you don't want to hit anything, you can see the ground. But also, it gives you more light coming in. It's a great place to rest your arm. All of this was designed as a real truck for real usability. Not all the competitors have that. Take each one for a test drive and you'll see which one fits you best. This truck is really nice to drive, but is it as nice to tow? So we brought our towing expert, Paul, who has been towing everything from goosenecks, fifth wheels, literally tractor trailers, all the way down to tag trailers. And he's going to take this vehicle for a test drive, and let's see how it tows.
Well, today we drove the 2026 F-250 with a trailer behind it, and unfortunately we got only 7.7 miles to the gallon. So I really love the diesel a lot better in my F-350. And it did a decent job towing. Some of the nanny aids were difficult to turn off, and dodging potholes, especially with lane departure, made it difficult. But overall, it was a good truck, and it did the job, but there's better trucks in the segment.
Paul found this vehicle really easy to tow. He does prefer diesel, but this gasoline engine being larger has a right towing capacity for most applications. All right, let's go through my pros and cons list, the price, and the competitors. Price range on the 2026 F-Series Super Duty truck is broad. It starts at $48,770 for your entry-level work truck, loaded up to a test vehicle like ours, and you're at $81,960. Our test vehicle had a lot of extra goodies, which I do appreciate, coming in at $83,305. There are some pros and cons when it comes to the F-Series Super Duty. On the plus side, very comfortable, high-tech interior with everything you need and a lot of great safety features, excellent towing capability and hauling, loads of available tech that helps you be safer on the road, also makes life a little easier, and I love the torque that comes from the diesel engine, which is not in our test car, unfortunately. On the negative side, that price tag soars, much like the competition. We'll give you that list in just a second. As soon as you start adding up all these goodies that you like, this truck gets super expensive, especially when you're coming close to $100,000. It starts to make you think, wow, I better keep this vehicle for a while. The tall ride height requires running boards, which I highly suggest, and there is no Blue Cruise available. The competitor list is kind of short and obvious. The Ram 2500 Heavy Duty, the Chevy Silverado 2500 HD, and the GMC Sierra 2500 HD. Make sure to take all of them for a test drive. Do the math, find out what works best for you. Check with your insurance agent. That will help you make a decision. There's more details down in the description, as well as all my social media. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. Don't forget that all of our news is on Car Coach Reports, and don't forget to check out our radio show, The Drive with Lauren and Carl. I'm Lauren Fix. Thanks so much for watching.